Welcome to Cooking with me, Andrea. Today I'm excited. We are going to be making my little brown rice sausage dish. We were outside gardening all day, getting our gardens in order. Hopefully, in a few weeks, I'll have all my fresh bell peppers, my own celery, my onions, and everything. But right now, we're going to use what we have here on hand, and we're going to get started. I just took probably about 2 teaspoons of butter. I'm going to just throw it in the pan. I'm going to go ahead and start my pan, and then I'm going to throw in my onions and my garlic. Okay, so you guys know me. I have to have pureed onions. I do not like the texture of onion, but I sure do love the way onion smells, and I love the way it tastes. So we're just going to get started. I'm going to let the butter start to warm up, and then I'm going to start cutting. I have 2 stalks of celery. We don't need too much, just 2. And then what I'm going to do is just cut them like this. I'm just going to throw it in. My rice dish is kind of like a jambalaya, except for I don't have all the heat going to it. I have flavor, but not the heat profile. I like jambalaya and stuff like that. You can add a little bit more heat, but I'm just going to do bell peppers, seasonings, and garlic, and that's how we're going to eat it because we do need something for lunch. I'm going to cut this celery stalk in half because I don't want everything. I want everything to be about the same size. I don't want it too big, but yet I want you to be able to get a crunch of your vegetable. Have your lunch. You know, some days I'm really good. Some days I do really bad lunches in calorie-wise or fat, but a lot of times I actually try and do better things for our family because, you know, this getting old is for the birds, like I always say. So I'm going to leave my celery like that. I was like, why is this not cut? That one did not make it. Okay, so I have my celery right here. Okay, my butter is starting to warm. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop my onions first, because I still have to have my onions cooked very good, because otherwise I can't eat it, and I don't want to tell a food lie. I always tell people, well, if you want an honest opinion, I guess ask me, because I cannot tell you a food lie. And everybody's all, you could tell a food lie. I go, no. You tell me to bite that onion right now, I guarantee you I will not bite that onion, because there's no way I could do it, because I do not like it. So I'm going to go ahead and chop up my bell pepper. My bell pepper looks funny. I massacre my bell peppers all the time. One of the reasons why I like growing my own bell peppers is because they're half the size, but I get to use multicolors. So I'm always trying to be creative and use different colors, and that's how I make my kitchen pretty. I always tell people I can't draw or anything like that. So, but my technique would be, let's try and make the food pretty. So I'm always using different colors, and I do that way, on purpose, because I want it to look nice. I want the food to have a nice presentation. And I'm going to add our garlic now. You see the onions are starting to cook. Now I'm going to add my fresh garlic. So the onion was a half of white onion cut up and pureed, and I have 3 cloves of garlic. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and get my vegetables cut while this all sautés, and I'm just going to bloom it and cook it up, and it's going to be smelling so delicious. I don't want my vegetables too big, but I don't want them too small either, so I'm trying to make sure that everything is nice and even. Okay, so we're just cutting. Okay. Smells good. Okay, I'm going to drop just a little bit more butter in there. So we probably about all together, it looks like I used about 2 tablespoons of butter. I was a little bit short when I first put it in. Just going to clean that out. Get everything nice and cleaned out. And then what we're going to do is just cut it in strips. I found out if I cut it into strips like this, then I'll be a little bit more on the even side. Okay, we're just going to give a little stir. Smells wonderful in here. And this is a pretty easy going dish. You know, we got our bell peppers, and so it's about 1 whole bell pepper, 3 cloves of garlic, half of a large white onion, and 2 celery stalks, and we're pretty good right there. And then what we'll do is we're going to drop this all in when it is time for us to put our rice in. Now, I am going to cook the sausage separately. I'm going to get to that in a minute. I am going to cook that separately. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just let this cook for just a few more minutes, as I want a little bit of color on my onion. And I'm going to finish cutting everything up. As soon as I get done cutting everything up, we'll be right back. Welcome back. Okay, couple things. I got all the veggies nice and cut, nice and even. So we got, once more, 2 ribs of celery. We've got 1 whole bell pepper. I split red and orange so it would look nice. I think sometimes that gives me a little bit more of an interest to eat my veggie. And then I went ahead and cut up our mushrooms. Mushrooms I'm going to add as soon as I add the water, because if I keep stirring the mushrooms, they will break up, but they will they will cook and they will absorb the flavors. So, in my wonderful brown rice sausage dish, I went ahead and I had 2 kielbasas, or 4 together, all the same. Actually, these are hot sausages, spicy. Then I have 1 Russian Kielbasa, and this is a big thing, you know. It's delicious. So the rest of it, I'm just going to go ahead and save. I'm going to go ahead and stir my onions and my garlic, because I didn't want you guys to miss anything. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let that heat for a minute more, and then I'm going to throw the bell pepper in. And then what I'm going to do is, actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this heat for just a minute, and I'm going to throw our rice in. We have 1 cup of brown rice, because the veg and everything is going to cook. I am going to cook the sausage on the side, because I always worry when I cook sausage, though, because it has grease in it, that it'll make the rest of my food greasy. So I don't want the rest of my food greasy. So we let that warm perfectly fine. We're going to mix the onion and the rice up. This is going to give me my flavor profile. So today I'm just going with a kind of thyme, oregano, parsley, and a little bit of paprika. So what I'm going to do is just let this kind of just warm. I always have been a rice toaster, and because I have the butter, the garlic, the onion, will be fine. So I'm just chopping up my sausage, not too small, but I am chopping it up more, and I am going to fry it in its own little pan over there on the side. You know, you can put your sausage in, or you can put it on top. I'm going to put it on top. Sometimes when I'm in a real big hurry, I just go ahead and throw everything in one pot, start cooking, and guess what? We're good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this portion of what I've already cut in there. And I like using two kinds of sausage, because it makes my dish a little bit more interesting, and it gives me different kind of heat profile. You know how I said this kind of resembles a jambalaya, but I don't eat a lot of jambalaya because I don't really make that from scratch, and I would usually buy a box. So mine is just a brown rice with sausage in it, but it does kind of mimic. So everything is nice. Bits are getting a little brown, which is good. I'm going to pour 3.5 cups of chicken stock in. You can use chicken stock, beef stock, vegetable stock. Because I have no meat in here, you guys could use a vegetable stock, and it would make it more like a vegetarian. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all the veggie in right this second here, as far as bell pepper and stuff goes. is I'm going to have these cooked together. And it is a fun, little fast, entertaining lunch. You can use it as a dinner, as a side, or a whole dinner. One pot meal, give yourself a piece of bread or a salad, and you'll be good to go. I have 1 teaspoon of oregano, and I have 1 tablespoon of parsley. Just going to dump it in, because, like I said, the flavor profile I'm going with is more thyme, oregano, paprika. I don't know what you call it. It's just that's the way I feel like I want us to eat our food today. I didn't want to add cayenne. I didn't want to add obey. I didn't want to make it so spicy, because this one sausage here is a hot link. It's a Farmer John hot link. Okay, so thyme goes a long way. You have to be careful with thyme, especially when you're first cooking, because it is a very strong spice. It's a delicious spice, but it's very strong. So what I'm going to do is I checked my little spoons. I don't even want 1/4 in my dish. It's only 1 cup of rice and 3.5. So to me, that's too much. It doesn't need that much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 shakes in my hand. That's it. That's all I want in there. Trust me, you'll taste that flavor. I'm also going to do 2, or I'm just going to do 1 paprika. 1 paprika comes out pretty good. It's a lot thinner than that. It's going to give me some color. And I already put my oregano, and I already put my parsley in. Now I'm going to go ahead and mix, because this is going to be very flavorful. You're going to like it. It's colorful. It's flavorful. This is good summer eats too, because you know why? It's got the color and the veg in it. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of tomato paste, not too much. See, just drop, probably be equivalent to about a 1/2 teaspoon right in. It's acidity. Oops. It'll be acid in my dish. It'll lend a little bit of color. And the one thing I love about using my tube is, guess what? I don't have to open a can of tomato paste anymore and put it in the refrigerator and just let it sit, and hopefully I'll use it. Now all I do is put this back in the fridge and we're good to go. This thing will last, wow, probably a good, even as much as I use it, it'll last you a good 6-7 months. Well worth the $2, almost $3 that you spend to buy it. Okay, so I'm just going to finish cutting up our sausage. I'm going to go ahead and turn my burner on so I can start it. And we'll just keep cutting, and we're going to let this come to boil. When this comes to boil, then what we're going to do is we're going to drop our mushrooms, stir delicately, that was hard, 1 time or 2 times, and then what we're going to do is put the cap on, and then we're going to go ahead and let it boil. So I'm just going to cut this all up. I just want you to see. And I do like the hot sausage in here because it's just spicy. So it gives a good flavor. Everything has flavor, which is nothing's going to be offensively hot today. But it's all going to have spice. And remember, profiles. Seasoning profiles are what your family like. My family likes thyme. My family likes oregano, because those are 2 spices I use a lot. I don't know what. I am fascinated with parsley. I just like the way my food looks. I like the way it tastes with my parsley. But to each his own. Whatever the cook says. Because if you're the one who has to be in here doing the work, then you get to run the profile. Just make sure your family likes the profile. That's why I always say, take what I have. But if your family does not like thyme, then don't use it. Use rosemary or use something else. Find a spice you like, or just go traditional. A little Old Bay, seasonings like that, cayenne. I'm really big into chipotle. I love chipotle. But see, for me, that will just make your whole dish so hot. So that's why I say we're going to stay more like nice, good, friendly spice, but it's going to be enjoyable. Something different that you don't make every single night. It's kind of like when you're creating soups. I love to create soups. Oh my gosh, that's my thing. We're almost getting to boiling. I'm going to turn it up a little bit higher so it'll go faster. Sometimes when I use my stovetop, it's different than when I use my New Wave. But normally my New Wave boils everything a whole heck of a lot faster. than my stovetop. Okay, so just rough chop. Remember, nothing has to look beautiful. This is going to be something that you're going to put on top of your rice or on the side of your rice. Like I said, if you were a vegetarian, you could just make sure you use stock, vegetable stock, and then just don't add your meat to it, and you would be fine. I'm going to just cut this one more time. Oops. Grabbing mushrooms here. Okay, we're coming up to a boil. This looks beautiful. Man, it smells delicious. Oh, so remember, you got all your flavors right there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put my mushroom in right now. And like I said, I'm going to cook my meat and put it on the side because I do feel that sometimes meat makes things greasy, especially sausage. Sausage is delicious, but a lot of times it'll have pork in it and it'll be a little bit on the fatty side. This is a good dish to make right here, too, without the meat, for a side dish at night. So you can do that as well. Just don't put the meat in or put less amount of meat. If you put a less amount of meat, it'll be delicious. Okay, so we've got our sausage in cooking. And this is what it looks like. This is how our sausage looks in our pan. We're just going to basically brown this, and then we're going to put it to the side, and then we'll be good to go. Okay, so we've got a full-on boil here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to drop our heat, because right now I have it on high. I'm going to go ahead and drop it to medium-low, and I'm going to cover it. Now, keep watching your rice for a few minutes to see how it reacts, because you want your liquid to be still hot enough to keep the boil going, but you don't want to boil it too fast because then things won't cook. It'll cook unevenly. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the timer on for 30 minutes. I always give it at least, well, I can kind of tell until the liquid goes out, it's not done. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see, it's still on medium low. Okay, we're still fine. It's not boiling too much. I'll give it a stir in a minute, and I may have to drop it just a little bit lower, but basically you want a low boil, and then we'll be back in about 30 minutes. Welcome back. My brown rice is done, my brown rice dish. I'm going to go ahead and I am going to stop it. Pull it down here with me because I have short arms. And what we're going to do is, this is how it looks. I'm going to take it out, and I want to show you how I would like to put it on a dish so that everybody could grab from it for lunchtime, or you can make it as a side dish. It's a good hearty side dish. This just has the vegetables in it. And look at how beautiful this is. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the sausage on it. But look at that, looks absolutely gorgeous. That looks super gorgeous. Now let's go ahead and let's put our sausage on top. So basically what you want to do is layer the sausage like that and just let it sit. Oh boy, it's going to taste so good. Or you can put it in the pan and mix it all up if you'd like. I like doing it this way. That way we get a bite of rice, vegetable, and we get the sausage. But this is just my quick and easy. Now, let me explain one thing though. Brown rice takes longer to cook than the white rice. I usually use more white rice than I do brown rice. But I'm trying to eat a little bit better for the most part, and I'm trying the brown rice and trying to get used to it and stuff like that. So this is a wonderful dish to try. I just wanted to let you know though, the sausage, the Russian Kielbasa, was about $10. It's a huge sausage. There is 3 times more meat that's not even cooked. I still have all this, but this is what we're going to eat for a little lunch idea. So I'm going to go ahead and take a bite because I want you to try. Oh, there's beautiful bell pepper, there's onion, there's garlic, there's mushroom. Absolutely wonderful. 2 kinds of bell pepper. Remember, there's orange and there is yellow. Very good. Mm, the sausage is absolutely excellent. Mm, do remember though what I did say about this wonderful kielbasa being a little bit on the greasy side? Much better just to lay it on the platter like this or put it in after everything's cooked and after this is cooked. Um, so the other Johnson sausages were not expensive at all, but the kielbasa was 10. You know, I already have the rice and the vegetables on hand. I would say if you like the content, if you could please like and subscribe, I'd be most grateful. Thank you.